Hey guys, Airsoft Al here, and I wanted to kind of do another little vlog style video because I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about something. Because as I was reading a lot of books lately for the media reviews, and yes, a lot of them, including rewatching a certain series that actually started the media reviews because I found out they got an English dub out now. It's only 4 episodes of the certain show, but if you've watched media reviews or you watch the media reviews playlist, then you know the show I'm talking about, and I really am happy they finally got an English dub out. But the big thing I want to talk about is why science fiction works better for isekai and just transported to a new world anime, the genre in general. I started really thinking about this. And when really looking at it, and even looking back at a lot of other things, I started coming to a realization, even fan fiction has kind of touched on this, which they work out really well. Science fiction works better because there's a somewhat logical explanation to it, or at least there is a explanation that can be looked at and accepted. Star Trek, I think, kind of coined this with Voyager, because if you really think about it, the idea of an advanced ship, be it a colonial ship, be it a fleet, or some form of any sort of just science fiction technological explanation in general, is that the reason someone could be somewhere is because of a FTL drive or slip space drive or warp drive malfunction, or because of a spatial anomaly, or even an anomaly happening when in FTL travel. And there are very few anime, well, not really anime, but there are very few manga that actually touch on this. The only one that really comes to mind that actually I really love and really like is, of course, the Galactic Naval Officer in a Fantasy World, which talks about a FTL jump that malfunctioned because I've got to reread it, but I think it's because his coordinates weren't punched in correctly or something had happened. There was a spatial anomaly within when the jump happened. This sort of thing I like because it's something that can be how do I put it right? It's logical, quoting Spock, while at the same time still being illogical, quoting Spock again. The idea that a ship, be it a colonial ship, be it a fleet, or even a planet, or even a space station, could be transported because of some form of spatial anomaly, or FTL malfunction, or a jump malfunction, is perfect, and can be done in a myriad of ways, and a very greater way because, and I think this is actually a better example, is that if it is a military fleet that makes a jump out of a combat zone or is basically going towards another planet, a spatial anomaly during jump can be understandable, or even a FTL malfunction, which just causes the fleet to either be transported to a planet well outside the known galaxy or even to another dimensional realm of reality. Again, Star Trek and a lot of other shows have kind of touched on the idea of an alternate universe, or at least a parallel universe, where things are drastically different. But in this case, one where it is a fantasy world is just perfect, because you throw in that military hierarchy, and then you put into the idea that these people are basically now stranded in a part of the galaxy they don't know about or don't understand where they're at, then they have to rely on that military hierarchy to basically try and keep order and literally try and keep a mutiny from happening within the fleet. And that can add to a lot of great drama. Battlestar Galactica actually did this idea, the idea of a fleet having to find a new home or find a way home. Or, again, Star Trek Voyager, once again, being a good example of a starship having to try and find its way home. It's been a long time since I've watched Star Trek Voyager, so I may be missing a few story beats on that, but I am rewatching the Star Trek series in chronological order, from Star Trek Next Generation, which I'm currently on, to Deep Space Nine, and then Voyager. But a big thing is that the idea of a military, of this fleet having to do this, it's prime drama material. It's prime just story beat material. You don't have to do harem, you can do the idea that this entire fleet has to try and find a way home. until they find an M-class planet that they can actually colonize and try and, just get the resources they need to try and either build or repair their slip space drive and kind of find a way home or find a way to open a portal to home. Again, the idea is perfect for the isekai genre or even the transport genre. Not only that, but if you throw in the idea that a literal XO who has never commanded in his life or has never commanded this many people in his life is now in command of an entire fleet of thousands, if not millions of lives, if you throw in a colonial ship in that fleet, that's where it really starts ramping up for the stakes being added on for this literally this inexperienced XO. Again, it is the idea has been used before in Western media. I'm trying to think. There was The Last Ship, which kind of explored this idea that, they're trying to find their way home in a plague environment. Or, there's so many that I can't really pick one, but, again, the only real big ones I can think of in the sci-fi genre is Battlestar Galactica and Star Trek. Those are the only real big ones I can think about these story beats. Even Stargate kind of touches on this idea that, they are able to travel to these different worlds and have to do first contact or have to handle situations. Sliders is another one, including Quantum Leap. These ideas where it talks about these situations, these anomalies, all this is prime material for the isekai and transport genre. And I am a little disappointed that they don't really capitalize on it. Instead, they try to play it safe and do the same old schlock they've always done, and I'm kind of disappointed in it. There is a lot of prime material for it. And again, science fiction is beautifully great for it. Again, there are some anime that I can think of that do kind of do this idea where, they get transported back home or anything of that nature. Again, it's prime material, it's perfect, it's great, and I wish more stories could be derived from this. However, the Wattpad community, not only the Wattpad community, but online author community as well as fanfiction communities have actually done this. There's a ton of Halo stories that actually touch on this, a ton of Warhammer 40k stories that touch on this. There are literally a lot of stories that do touch on this, and I am going to be reviewing those in the near future. Because I want to share those stories with you guys and kind of give the ideas about it. Because the whole idea just... It really is good. But I want to hear your thoughts in the comments section about this. Do you think science fiction is prime material for the isekai and transport genre? What do you think about the idea of a fleet being transported to a fantasy world because of an FTL drive malfunction, or because of a spatial anomaly, for lack of a better term, timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly stuff, quoting Doctor Who? Again, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments section, so sound off. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I've been Airsoft Al, the Common Airsofter, who thinks about prime material that can be used and works really well for a genre to kind of inspire you, the authors who are watching, to kind of give it a shot yourself. And as always, I've been Airsoft Al, and I will see you guys in the next video. Later.